All right, I'm sure you guys saw the statement the organization just put out, but we did learn that Kirk suffered an Achilles tendon tear yesterday up at Lambeau Field. We're in the process of determining kind of the next steps and timeline, what's in the best interest for Kirk, and allowing that process to play out so we can make sure he gets the best possible medical care that he can. Me personally, our whole team, our whole organization, we're all, hurting this morning for Kirk, just knowing just how much he's invested into this team, and from a standpoint of his leadership and what he's, meant to every single guy in that locker room, and really what he's meant to me since my arrival here, last year. And we're going to miss him. There's no doubt about it. We're going to miss him. But my expectations are, and I've, in my dialogue briefly with Kirk, since yesterday, he has every intent of still being a major part of our leadership, a part of the quarterback room, a part of our offense, a part of our plans each week schematically, like he's been right there every step of the way. And quite honestly, I don't expect anything less from Kirk being the man and the leader that he is. Regardless of the circumstances, as tough of a break with the momentum we have as a team right now, we have to move forward. Nobody feels sorry for anybody in this league, and we know that. I know that, and I know for one thing, I owe it to every player and coach, and really every person in this building. They're going to get my best every single day, and we're going to move forward in the same kind of attack mode we are, going out and trying to get a win each and every week, and continue to position ourselves to continue the pursuit of playing more games at the end of this season and getting the opportunity to compete until there are no opportunities left. I thought yesterday was encouraging. We wake up today 2-0 in the NFC North, having won 4 out of our last 5 after what was a very difficult start to our season. Really have challenged the team throughout my messaging throughout this this stretch of 2023, that that adversity has really been a breeding ground for tremendous growth within our organization, that I think will help us for many opportunities to come. But more importantly, it will provide us some of the tools, maybe not to the extent that it will be coming off of losing our starting quarterback, but it will definitely be something that we'll all need to just do a little bit more. It will all need to be just a little bit better, and I know there's 1,000 ways that I could do that for this team, and I will. So I'll open it up to you guys.
Kevin, what are your plans short-term, at least for this week at quarterback?
Yeah, we're still working through that, Kevin. I did want to see Jaren go in the game and function. A lot of the feedback that I got from the guys in the huddle was he was outstanding calling plays, cadence, snap counts, center quarterback exchange. Those are all things that go through your mind. And really knowing kind of our staff did a really nice job of kind of keeping me updated probably long before anybody else on our sideline really knew what was going on. So I was, really using some of those opportunities to show Jaren my confidence in him, but also give him some opportunities to play quarterback and convert a big third down there, get out of the pocket a couple times on some keepers, and really just kind of start, giving him an opportunity when really all he's done is scout team reps up until this point throughout the season, and he's done a fantastic job getting our defense ready every single week for a lot of different offenses. And I credit Chris and Grant for having him ready to go. There wasn't one blink that I felt, or any kind of hesitation on his part. So we'll continue Jaren's process of getting him ready to go each and every week. If he ends up being the guy, I know every guy on our roster has confidence in Jaren. And we're still working through some things, what that may look like to potentially add another player here. Knowing that Nick is also going to, still be out, at least, by the rules, another week, and we'll see where he's at when that timetable starts.
So bringing somebody else in, like at a level that they could play right away or soon?
I think you wouldn't want to say yes or no to that. I think it's all based upon what we feel gives us the best opportunity to beat the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. Really talented team on defense They play incredibly fast. You know, I have a lot of respect for Arthur and his staff. Ryan Nielsen's a guy I got to know last offseason really well. Think the world of him. And, you know, so we're just going to have to make the best decision based upon, you know, the days of preparation we have, and what that picture looks like will be determined throughout the week.
Kevin, how much would you have to
run the offense? You know, they did. They went. You look up the Josh Freeman tape, but one year they went out and got him. You know, on the Vikings, because how hard is it to teach even a veteran a new system?
Yeah, I think you know, we've really, you know, what we've done offensively here since we first arrived. I mean, even somebody that played previously here, you know, in last year's training camp, it's different. It's evolved. It's constantly evolving. Kirk has quite honestly given me the opportunity, you know, to coach him hard, but we've kind of done it together in a way where the evolution of this offense is really kind of morphed, you know, in different directions based upon, you know, the last few weeks with JJ out, or previously adding TJ middle of the season, or, you know, whatever it's been. So I think it is a challenge, but, you know, that's our job as coaches, is regardless of when a player arrives, or if it's a player's rookie year, whatever the timetables you'd love to be able to be comfortable with. Very rarely do you get that gift mid-season in the NFL. So that's our jobs, and I'm going to take it as my personal responsibility to make sure whoever goes out there to play quarterback for us is prepared and ready.
Kevin, as you're looking for options, how far and wide do you look? Is this guys that you know that have played in a similar system, guys that played in the league? You think about talking guys out of retirement. How far do you cast the net?
Yeah, you wouldn't believe kind of some of the things on my cell phone I've received here in the last 24 hours, you know, less than 24 hours. But that dialogue, it's what's going to be best for our ability to win football games, but also knowing we've been living in a world where we want to be as competitive as possible right now, while also understanding what we're building, hopefully for the future at the same time. And doing that, just trying to make sure the football and what we do, between what Flo's done defensively, what we do offensively, you know, is as top of the line as we can possibly make it for our guys, and then constantly be evaluating what's best for our team moving forward, and moving forward means the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. So it's been an interesting, you know, kind of period here since, you know, about 2:30 yesterday, 2 o'clock yesterday at Lambeau, and we'll continue to work through that.
Kevin, how important is synergy with Kwesi at a time like this?
Yeah, it's, you know, we have constant dialogue, communication, and trade deadline and everything that's going on. There is probably no, you know, more, you know, direct communication outside of, you know, us getting, you know, just an open mic between his office and mine. It might come in handy here, but I think I feel very, very comfortable with our dialogue, you know, my ability to, you know, express football-wise, you know, where I think we're at, where I think we're going. And then I think the important job for me as the head coach is to, you know, be open-minded to, you know, that dialogue, and Kwesi and his staff, and as we work towards what we think, you know, is the right possible thing for us, you know, really across the board for our whole team. And that will continue to be ongoing, and quite frankly, feel very comfortable with that process.
Kevin, have you spoken to Kirk this morning, and what did he say, and how do you talk to him as a person on that level?
Yeah, I have, and just more so, you know, as a friend and as somebody that I've become really close with him. It's more so about being in support mode for him right now. That's maybe getting him connected with you know, some people that might be able to at least give him some advice, players that have gone through it, maybe currently going through it, things like that, that will allow him to have, you know, the best possible mindset that I don't worry about one bit, because he was already, you know, discussing timelines and when he'll be ready to go, and all those things. Kirk Cousins loves playing this game. He loves, you know, he takes a lot of pride in playing this game and being as durable as he's been throughout his career. So this is going to be new for him. And that's what my job ultimately is for, you know, every player on our roster, regardless of whether they're, you know, it's the same for JJ throughout this time. It's the same for Marcus Davenport, throughout some of the other players that we've either put on IR, have been lost for the season since we've been here. I view that as a huge part of my job, the support and them understanding it's more than just, what can you do for us now? It's more, what can I do for you guys as you go throughout this process and feel kind of the most comfortable you can feel in a time when it's very, very hard to do that. And I do think that's very important, no matter the energy or time that takes for me to do that.
Have you talked about the growth that you've seen, like kind of from that rocky start, whole organization?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you guys have heard me use the response word many, many times. Over these last few weeks, there's example after example of our team. All a response is picking each other up and finding a way to make the next play, regardless of if you had anything to do with the previous outcome, good or bad. Finding a way to go out there and make the play that could set the momentum in our favor for the rest of the day, for a 2 or 3 week stretch, whatever it is. But I think we've learned to deal with those things together, looking inward, and whether it's the defense picking up the offense after a turnover, or the defense does turn the football over Josh Metellus yesterday, and then the offense goes out and scores on the next play. Just maximizing our ability to play as one. The Minnesota Vikings, regardless of circumstance, play as one in a way that we become very difficult to compete for 4 quarters against by the things we're doing on the field, the talented players we do have, and the fact that collectively it's going to feel like you're playing against a team in its purest form for 3.5 hours on a Sunday.
Kevin Bryant and Neil talked yesterday. When things have gotten tough for this team, it's brought the best out of you guys.
Yeah.
How much of that starts with Kirk, and where does it come from now?
Yeah, I think Kirk had, a lot to do with it. I think all of our captains, all of our leaders, our leadership extends well beyond our 8 captains, and, I'd like to think the coaching staff plays a role in that as well. But, there is going to be a void of on-field leadership when you lose a guy like Kirk Cousins. It's just a fact. Ignoring that would be naive by me, but there's also opportunity. Just any adversity in life, regardless of whether you're playing a game or it's away from this building. I want our players to always look at adversity as an opportunity for growth, and it's easier said than done, quite honestly, and that's when you have to have a culture of guys that are collectively doing things together. There's never finger pointing, there's never blame, deflection of criticism and all that. Absorb, compartmentalize what you can, process what you can, and then we got to move forward because, like I said, nobody's going to feel sorry for us in any capacity.
How do you change the offense in the last
Showdown.
Kirk, how do you have to change the offense just to have a quarterback maybe that's not doing quite as much of line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a natural thing for us to basically, be aware. It's just about having awareness and understanding, communicating with whoever's playing, and then ultimately making the decisions that I think are best for our offense. As far as, you can do a lot of things. You can get carried away sometimes with scheme, and we've seen some great examples of that being very beneficial down to the last little detail that we express to our players. And then we've seen just some playmaking ability as well, of understanding, never underestimate the power of just putting the ball in play, making good decisions, progressing in rhythm, and allowing, the core philosophies and kind of what we've built this offense around, really through the quarterback, by the quarterback, and to help the quarterback in a lot of ways. I think those principles have to stay true, even if you've got to take a couple steps back. And I think through that process of doing so, where you might be in 4 or 5 weeks from a growth standpoint might be more beneficial than anything. And then you look back on it and say, did we really change all that much? Or did we just, once again, morph and kind of figure out the best way to collectively move forward? So I think it's going to be a lot of that. I'm quite honestly, this is going to be a challenge, Ben, but it's one that I believe this is why we're here, to help navigate, through tough times and ultimately challenge, develop, encourage, and then have confidence that what we ultimately do when that ball gets kicked off, our guys can go play fast and have a lot of confidence to go do some good things.
Where you are in the competitive rebuild that you mentioned, is it realistic to use the resources to bring in a new starter, whether it's trade, sign, out of retirement, or anything?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of scenarios to that. What are the resources? I think the conversations that lead you down that road help kind of clearly define the answer to that question based upon, is it a short-term only thing? Is it something that could be more long-term? Is it, something that, truly is an upgrade versus just kind of the sheer dealing with the reality of a tough situation right now? And that's what we have to work through, and that's goes back to Alex's question about my communication with Kwesi, his staff, our coaching staff, and just the fact that we're all synced up and we understand that we signed up to live in this kind of dual world that sometimes can feel like it's competing against each other a little bit. And that's where you've got to just continue to have dialogue, communicate, and ultimately make the best decision collectively. And more oftentimes than not, that's worked out for us so far.
And it feels like you would have to get to that answer pretty quick.
It does feel like that, yes. Say that one more time.
Do you need to get to that answer quick?
I think it's just, I think it's a we thing. I think it's our whole organization, and we'll continue to work through that here in the next day or two.